Welcome to Intentionality with Dominique, the show that helps business owners become valued and in-demand suppliers in the marketplace to scale their businesses. Let's start today's show with host and intentional connector, Dominique Simpson-Milton.
Welcome to another episode of Intentionality, the show dedicated to improving the success rate of entrepreneurs and their businesses by helping them become successful suppliers. I am your host, Dominique Simpson-Milton. Today's show is being brought to you by CVMSDC, also known as the Council. We are an economic growth engine for ethnic minority business owners and serve as an advocacy group to help minority business enterprises with certification, development, connection, and advocacy. Now, there are some businesses that are more common than others with low entry thresholds like logistics and cleaning, moving, and maybe cosmetology. It may be easier to start these businesses. However, those that stand out above others are able to differentiate their businesses, prosper beyond the average, and stand the test of time. On this show, we focus on sharing valuable insights from business owners who have succeeded for more than 5 years and taken their businesses from ordinary to extraordinary. Today's guest started a moving company 34 years ago, thrived through the pandemic, and has built a reputation that mirrors his company's name, Quality Moving Services. Remember, names are important, so think carefully about the name you select for your business. So, how do you take a basic concept like moving and transform it into a highly profitable business and succeed? Well, you focus on creating a niche in the market. Joining me to talk more about this is the president of Quality Moving Services, past CVMSDC board member, and an engaged MBE in our network, Mr. Vincent Tucker. Vincent, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dominique, for having me.
Yes, it is always a pleasure to talk with you, Vincent. Tell us, how did you start the company?
Well, after graduation from college, worked for a local grocery store, and I just felt within myself I needed to do something on my own. We have had, our family has been in entrepreneurship for 50, 60 years, and it was time for me to just venture out. Wasn't sure what to do, service industry I enjoyed, and I stumbled across that,
I see.
the moving services.
So what didn't you know about business that you thought you knew when you started the business?
Well, one thing I didn't know is how much development there was needed. So sure, you can just have a business license, you can have 2 or 3 trucks, but unless you have the know-how to deal with strategic planning, budgeting, things of that nature, it can be challenging.
So let's talk about development, because you're a member of CVMSDC. You've gone through some of our developmental programs. Talk about what development is, what it did for you, and why it's important.
Well, development is not only good for me, but for all businesses. It helps to get through the weeds of your business. It deals with strategic planning, it deals with accounting, things that you don't normally look at day to day. You just sort of look at your work, and it gives you an overview of your marketing plan and what's going on in today's world and how you might need to adjust.
I see. So how many programs have you been to?
I've been through 3 programs.
Okay.
U of R here in the Richmond area. I've gone to Wisconsin and Dartmouth.
Tuck program at Dartmouth.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful program.
So now, did you build that into your business plan each year? Because I tell people, like, every year, like a car needs a tune-up, you need to be tuning up your business. Did you plan for that?
I did not plan for that.
Okay.
But once I learned about CVMSDC and understand the benefit that came with being a part of that organization, this organization, and people started talking about, additional development, and I was lost at first. However, once I started, I couldn't stop. So every year for 34 years now, I'm looking at some type of training and development, but not just me, but also for my team.
That's perfect. So for our listeners, when you join CVMSDC, you might pay a small nominal fee to become a member. But we, in turn, give you scholarships to go to those different programs.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And those scholarships are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. And for companies like Wells Fargo or Dominion Energy that may sponsor those or sponsor you, it's priceless. and it costs you nothing out of pocket.
Costs you nothing except your time.
That's
and I
right.
like to tell people you have to slow down in order to speed up.
You do.
You do. And then also when you go to our events like the BOC or annual meeting, we always have developmental programs there. Just workshops, right? To keep
Absolutely.
you sharp and on top of what you need to do.
Yes.
Right. Very important. Very important. So when you look at your business, how has it changed over the years from what you used to provide to what you provide now?
Well, years ago, I felt like a hustler when I look back down, but I certainly was working more in my business versus on my business. And it was day to day, grinding every single day. And you're just chasing $1, just enough to meet your expenditures. Over the years, I've got more development. The programs that I've entered into allowed me to expand my mind, collaborate with other like-minded businesses, and be more professional at what I do.
That's very good. So you said something that's important, and I talked to all of my listeners about this. You said you used to work in your business, right?
Correct.
Versus on your business. What is the difference?
Yes. Working in your business, you really don't find, it doesn't give you a chance to polish your business or critique your business. You're too busy chasing the dollars, trying to make sure payroll is done. You have enough work to cover payroll and $2 or $3 in your pocket. The next thing you know, year after year, you're in a rat race. You never been trained to develop your business or to take it to another level.
So working on your business helps you strategically plan to take it to the next level.
Absolutely.
Okay. Talk to me, Vincent, about diversity. You have a huge team. How many people are on your team?
I have about 20 employees now.
20 employees. Is it a diverse team?
It is a diverse team.
Right.
Well, you need diversity, one, because you need to hear from everyone. Everyone has a different view, different angle, and it's important because we can miss something.
Right.
Not only that, your workforce or your quality of work has to be diverse, depending on the economy. If the economy is up, you may do well in area A, but in a bad economy, what are you going to do? So you have to be diverse to weather the storm or any storm.
Now, is your team bilingual?
Some of them are.
Some of them are. You only need a few, right? You just need one or two to be able to speak to your customers, okay? So I want to step back, right? Because you have a moving company, but how would you say your moving company is different than other moving companies?
Well, we're able to, Quality Moving Services has developed in a way that we can do short notice moves, not only with businesses, but also residential.
Okay.
So let's just take residential for an example. If there's a late closing or a last minute closing on a house, we have the flexibility to relocate you in a day or two.
Okay.
And the same thing with businesses. When COVID came around, U of R called us and said, listen, we have sent the students home. We need you to pack and move 700 students within 2 weeks. Everything has to be out of the rooms.
Okay.
We brought a team together. We collaborated also with a cleaning company that would spray chemicals to keep everything neutral because that was prime time for COVID. We were able to accomplish that goal in just 2 weeks. That was a lot of work.
That's a lot of work, but also you had to be very trustworthy, right? That university had to trust you, know that you had bonded people to be able to go into individuals' rooms, pack up their personal belongings, and either store them or ship them.
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's a lot. That's a nice little pivot there, right? And that got you through the pandemic.
Yes, it did. So CVMSDC, I'm sorry, helped me to build that relationship with U of R. It took several years.
Right.
Once an opportunity was open to bid on the contract, we won the contract, and even today we're still doing work at U of R.
And U of R is University of Richmond.
University
of Richmond.
Absolutely.
So one other pivot that you mentioned our viewers might have missed, right? And I caught this a while back. When we went into COVID, you did a slight pivot. You added cleaning services to your moving. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, customers wanted to know that not only are you able to move items out of their offices or homes, but do you have anyone that can clean? Can you come in and spray something to neutralize the germs or whatever? You know, so we can feel healthy and knowing that you're just not spreading germs from one person to the next.
Absolutely.
So it was a lot involved, but we were up for the test.
That was a great pivot. So now I want to talk about your ability to be able to handle that contract because it's another piece that business owners miss, right? Being able to scale is one of the things that keeps people from growing, right?
Absolutely.
So when they called you and they said, we have 700 rooms for you to pack up, did you have to expand your team or you had enough people to do it?
We had to expand our team, and we had to look for sometimes, in this case, temporary workers.
Right.
So we didn't just pick people off the street. They needed to be vetted because trust is very important in this industry as well.
Mm-hmm. So you were able to expand your team to take the job on, and then you were able to contract back. So when you didn't need that many people, right?
Absolutely.
So I call that expansion and contraction, right?
Yes.
We have to know how to do that as business owners. Otherwise, you'll miss huge contracts or you'll have to lay off people when business is slow.
That's right.
So kudos to you for being able to do that.
Thank you.
Biggest lesson learned in your business?
The biggest lesson was not being developed sooner. I've been in business probably close to 20 years at this point, 15 to 20 years. And I was constantly working in my business. Once I connected with CVMSDC, my eyes opened up. In fact, it was a previous MBE that introduced me to the staff, Chuck Bale.
Okay.
He's since retired. But that was my biggest lesson because I felt that it took me 15 or 20 years. There was wasted time.
Okay.
It was very little progress with us.
But that's very common, right? Because a lot of people think,
It
I can
is.
do this on my own. I have this. I know I have the expertise, right? And so you're working, right? You only have 24 hours in a day.
That's
and you're
right.
trying to get it done yourself. With there are organizations out there like our organization that can really help you, introduce you to other people, help you with contracts, help you with your strat plan. So I tell people all the time, link up with as many advocacy groups as you can. When I was
Absolutely.
in MBE, I was woman-owned, minority-owned, 8A certified. We had every certification we can get because there's different value in each certification. Would you agree?
Yes, I do agree.
Okay, all right.
And we have to be open to that.
We have to be open. We have to be coachable too.
That's right.
All right. So if you could do everything all over again, I know you said you would get help sooner. What would you do differently other than that?
Well, I think that I would probably put more money to the side before starting the business. Payroll is a nightmare for most small businesses, making sure you can meet that demand every week. To make sure that your credit is good, if you need to borrow money, that you're not a high risk to the banks. Just make sure financially you're in a better position before you start that venture.
So let's talk about that for a minute, because a lot of people say, okay, I'm going to borrow from auntie, I'm going to call my mom, I'm going to use all my money because I have money, I'm just going to use my money. And that's not a good strategy, because what ends up happening is you use all your money, you use your family's money, and then there's no more money, right?
That's
and so
right.
when you need to grow, your credit is not that good.
Correct.
So it's better to write it in your business plan up front to have a plan for how you're going to get your seed capital, but even more important, your cash flow.
Yes.
Right, because you have to make payroll.
That's right.
On a continuous basis.
So you have to project these things before you open the doors.
Yes.
Worst case scenarios, you have to look at it and be realistic. If you think you only need 50,000, you don't know how the economy is going to shift, see if you can get 100,000.
Yes.
Doesn't mean you have to spend it all, but make sure you have more than enough.
Right.
In case things change.
Credit rating is important.
Yes.
Okay? So Vincent, let's talk about your reach. Who do you serve? Is it just Virginia, or where?
We currently serve the state of Virginia.
Okay.
From point A to point B.
Okay.
And not only in residential moving, but also commercially.
Residential, commercial, all of Virginia.
Yes.
Right. And then you have storage facilities too. If I'm not ready to go into my next location, you can help me?
That's exactly right. Since the 34 years, we've purchased 2 buildings, commercial buildings, and they're used for residential or commercial. They're self-storage units.
Okay. Very good. So Vincent, when should somebody call Quality Moving and Services?
They can call me any day, anytime. They can look us up on the website at www.qmovingservices.com. They can call us at 804-796-4860. Call us when you're thinking about moving.
Right.
If you're in an office and things are getting cluttered, don't wait until it's out of control. Just give us a call. We'll come in and analyze your items and maybe come up with some suggestions.
Right.
What need to happen.
So you give a free quote to people coming in,
free estimates,
right?
Absolutely.
Right. And for those residential folks, my husband, he's getting ready to move his mother into an assisted living facility. And he's like, okay, I can do this. I'm like, why would you want to break your back, right? When you can call a moving company and get it taken care of, and they can come in, just handle everything seamlessly. And I've heard about the service, the customer service that your team provides. One of our team members utilize you for a move. And he said, I have never had white glove service like that.
Yes. Well, that's why we're number one moving company in the area. So we have to be able to provide professional services, regardless of how large or small the job is. And we always thrive on being professional.
Well, that is outstanding. Thank you for being with us today, Vincent. And if you are interested in more information on the services that Quality Moving Services provides, please visit qmovingservices.com. Well, folks, that concludes today's episode of Intentionality. Be sure to join me for our next episode. And remember that we must always, always remain intentional to gain knowledge, skills, and connections so we can grow and thrive in business together. I'm Dominique Simpson-Milton, and I will see you next time.
This has been another episode of Intentionality with Dominique, brought to you by the CVMSDC. For more information, please visit cvmsdc.org.